My dears, at the last seminar here, when you allowed in the energy that Esther translated the new souls that are coming in, I love that. It was very touching. And the vibration was different from you all, but nonetheless it was very touching, and the adamancy and the determination of these young souls was really very sweet. It was very nice. And also the information you gave us about picking a life that is a challenge. Oh, my dear, I am so grateful for that, because when I was growing up, we used to hear the song, "Why was I born? Why am I living?" And when I realized that I picked the parents and the family situation that I picked, I used to think something must be wrong with me.
Not only that, you co-created it.
Well, you see, now I understand that.
In other words, much of that which you live, that you look back on with disdain or joy or condemnation, you were a catalytic part of the way it played out.
Well, Abraham, I'm so grateful, and I'm very pleased with the choice that I made. As a matter of fact, my birth father, I know next to nothing about. I was only around him a little bit. But since hearing that, I was going to bed one night, and I said, "Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you," so to speak. And I said,
precisely.
I said that I want to thank you for your participation in it. And the first time in my life, I had a dream about him. And he came as a young man, very handsome man. And he, oh God, how am I going to get emotional? And he looked me in the face, in the eyes, and then he embraced me. And for the first time I said, "Dad." And it seemed like it didn't last long.
And he said to you, "I kept my promise to you."
Yes, he did. And it was very, very touching. And it satisfied a lot of curiosity I've had about him.
Yes.
Why he would do this. And then I want to go another step further in that it's simple to say that he abandoned me, but now...
Or freed you.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Freed you to be the chooser of your life without the influence of someone already decided and unsure.
And troubled. He had
someone who wants more than anything to be of value, who recognizes he cannot guide his own life. What possibility does he have of guiding another?
Oh, Abraham, this is wonderful.
And wisely said, "You'll do all right."
Earlier,
we wish all fathers would do that. We do not mean that we want all children to be abandoned. We mean if all parents could say to their children, "You have such wisdom that has come with you, and I've picked up so much," you like our vernacular, "crap along the way, that I've decided that I will set aside as much of the garbage that I've gathered that has served as resistance to my own well-being, and I will not deliver it to you in daily doses." And in your exposure to life on a more neutral playing field, you may, for a longer period, be able to resonate with the guidance that is coming forth from within you, and then you can guide me to connection rather than me guiding you from disconnection. And of course that's not true of all parents, but it's true of enough of them that it makes for a pretty good story.
Now, I was never around him, but I guess it must be a vibrational match, but he used to spend his time in his fishing boat he was very much a loner, etc. And I think that he gave me this ability to be alone physically.
Well, he was a much more connected being than you have ever been allowed to believe that he was. Because those who wanted to justify to you his absence had to make his being gone wrong.
Exactly.
They couldn't let his absence be a noble thing or a virtuous thing or a guided thing or a connected thing. It had to be a wrong thing. So you were spoon-fed misinformation.
Because he got a lot of this yin from the family.
Of course he did. He did not stay put, and he did not allow them to pigeonhole him, and he refused to suffer in the ways that they had chosen to suffer.
Well, now, because of the vibrational match, now I did the very same thing. I fathered a child, another part of the world.
And then that child is blessed as you have been blessed.
When I think of all the cheap melodrama I've gone through in my own head about this, I don't have any guilt anymore, because I think that his mother was my first my first adult sexual affair that I really enjoyed. One of the best experiences I ever had. I was 19, and when she knew she couldn't count on me. I don't know if these are superficial reasons.
They are non-essential issues, unimportant issues.
I freed him too, didn't I?
You did what so many of you intend to do. You come forth and provide an avenue for focused consciousness to have physical experience. Understanding that while guidance can be beneficial, that guidance is always coming from broader perspective, and that well-being is the order of things. In other words, we are not for a moment saying that there are not lovely families that are working, and that nurturing children is a wonderful thing. But what we are saying is that everyone is singularly, selfishly oriented, and the child is too. And the most uncomfortable situations that we see happening in your physical environment today happen under the guise of the happy family. In other words, there is more struggle and entrapment and disconnection in attempting to make a family be something that is unnatural. And so we are just using your example to sort of balance things out just a little bit. There's no right or wrong behavior. We're not saying it's wrong for a father to leave, or it's wrong for a father to stay, or it's right to live in this way and wrong to live in that way. What we are saying is you can't get it wrong, and your father didn't get it wrong, and you didn't get it wrong. And anybody who's decided to make that wrong is just using that as their temporary excuse to not allow themselves to have all of the riches that this environment is offering to them otherwise. You see, you can use anything you want as your excuse to not allow your well-being in, and it is amazing how flimsy some of these excuses are. And on your world stage, many would say, well, Abraham, this is far from a flimsy excuse. This is big stuff. And we say, show us a family that is working, and by that we mean everyone involved in it is absolutely joyful, and we will see a family where the individuals are interdependently focused upon their individual desires. Yes.
Because I have asked you about him before, and you have said, oh, he's fine, just don't worry about it. And it was interesting too,
because when you activate that, what you activate is your
guilt.
Not only that, but you activate your justification in order to perhaps deal with your guilt. It's like you talk about the vernacular that comes forth here. We do not use words like God unless they are reflected back to us from someone like you, because we know that all we would do is activate whatever that feels like to you in whatever way you've practiced it. And so we don't take you into a place of new knowing. We just activate what you think you already know, and that's as far as it goes, no matter what else we do. And so the same sort of thing happens as you are interacting in your physical environment, and you are having your own personal experiences, and those personal experiences are causing things to activate within you. Now, that's something that we can talk about, but when your activation has not come from your personal experience, it's come from something you've heard through their perspective, through their distortion, or through their awareness. And by distortion, we don't mean they're distorted. We mean their perspective is always a distortion from your perspective. Now, you cannot even begin to retrace that. And since it is not necessary, since your father is not unhappy or unhealthy, since there is nothing that can be gained by going back and retracing it, then we just do not encourage it. We encourage you instead to find something that is tangible in your now and use that to activate your vibration and connect to your source energy as a result of something that is more current, something that is pure, something that has the potential of giving you more. It is exactly the reason that we think these virtual realities are so lovely and delicious and life-giving and helpful. In other words, we would rather you get into a pure fantasy than face any kind of factual reality if the factual reality has the potential of taking you into a place that does not feel good. You get a sense of what we're talking about?
Yes, I am. Because I'm remembering the first time I laid eyes on his mother, my boy's mother, the woman that gave birth. And I just felt even right then and there, I'm articulating it differently now, but there was a depth there, and I thought, we have a path to go.
It's interesting. As you activate the vibration of your child, it is the identical vibration as the vibration of your father. Now, do not misunderstand. We did not say you gave birth to your father. What we're saying is the way you approach that subject and the way you approach that subject is so much within the same vibration that it was difficult to decipher where you were focused in that moment. In other words, you have relived the guilt of your father and made it your own, or justified the guilt of your own by justifying it against your father, and so it is almost the same vibration.
I'll have to work on that a little bit myself.
We would leave it all aside.
All right.
We would focus in the more poignant now. We would make our relationship with our source about things that you understand fully.
Yes, yes.
And not nebulous things that you're piecing together.
Okay. Thank you, April.